Hey everyone, what's going on tonight? It's Wednesday night, 9:07 p.m., and it's been a while since you've seen me. And the last time you saw me, it was a live post here on Facebook about the starting of a new creation. And tonight we are introducing the pilot to On the Fly with Jason Rumble. And he is my can't just call him a co-host. He is part of the show. He's someone you're going to get to know. From 92.9, he is Geramy, the Germ Pottle.
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm just outside having a quick smoke right now. I'm outside in my shorts and my plaid. It's only, I don't know, about 15 friggin' degrees in here, but it's all good.
I hear you, brother. So just to give the people here a little background, you know, the good thing about this is we're going to grow together like a huge tree because we really don't know each other. You know,
we've met
we were
twice.
Twice. We were introduced by a friend, Lupe Soto. He thought we'd be perfect together to talk wrestling and sports. And now, a year later, things are coming to fruition. And tonight on the pilot episode on the Fly with Jason Rumble and the Germ tonight.
Before you do that, I want to stop you. I want to one-up you on one thing. We met once before. I don't know if you remember. I was a waiter at the Nook and Cranny in Baileyville.
Yes, I do.
You and I met and we talked for a couple minutes. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Really
yes,
quick.
I do. Yes, cool. I do.
Yeah.
That was Valentine's Day last year with my wife, and my wife has got a smirk on her face right now.
Yeah.
Because now she knows who I'm talking to. So that's that's funnier. So yes.
Right on.
So what's going to make this concept even better is, every couple of weeks we'll get together. We'll let the sports world and the wrestling world do what they do. And then I'm going to hit you with just questions. I want to hear your answers and your opinions to what these are. And then I'll add my more than 2 cents in that I love to do. And we'll go from there. So the concept tonight will be we'll talk a little bit of Red Sox, a little bit of Bruins, some Celtics, some Patriots, because this is a New England sports talk show all at the same time. But we will talk wrestling this evening. I'll have 4 opinions that I'm looking to get from you. And then, like I said, I'll add my 2 cents in. So right now, we start on the fly. Germ, I'm putting you on the fly right now with the current Red Sox roster at this point. Do you see them being anything other than bottom feeders in the AL East this year?
Second to last. I don't predict the Orioles doing very much. Even though they came on strong last year. But as for the Red Sox, they didn't make the moves that they needed to. They made a couple moves. They got the Turner guy, Justin Turner.
Yeah.
From the Dodgers. Yeah, he might improve, but he's aged. If they got him maybe 3 or 4 years ago, then that would have helped. That would have helped a lot more. He would have brought a lot more power. I've listened to a couple spring training games so far, and they're not. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. The pitching's not going to be there. You can't depend on Chris Sale. Whatever his status is right now. Who knows what his status? Who knows what the guy's status is?
Yeah.
He could come back strong. And then he could get injured his first game out. He could get a fucking hangnail or something, I mean, and you never know. Then he's out for 6 weeks. So I don't anticipate too much of a season for the Sox at all. I hope so. I hope they do well, but I can't see them competing with the Yankees. The Yankees are coming back strong. They got the reigning MVP and Aaron Judge, and I don't see them competing with them. They don't have the power. They don't have the pitching. Defensively, I don't know. They've lost some major key players, which is nothing but the Red Sox fault. And it almost feels like ownership, uh, John Henry and Dombrowski, or whatever his name is, not Dombrowski, but John Henry and the
Kyle
Fenway.
Bloom.
Yeah. Well, no, well, not the GM, but John Henry and the ownership. It seems like they have so much on their plate that they're just putting the Red Sox in the back end of everything, because they own that soccer team and they own so many developmental areas around the Boston area. It just seems like the Red Sox are just they're like on the back stove right now, and
Yep.
and it sucks. It sucks as a hardcore Sox fan. I hate seeing it, and they should have made a lot more moves, but they just didn't.
All right. So myself, I'll give you this. One thing about the Major League Baseball in general, were you able to witness Saturday's spring training game between the Red Sox and I would like to say it was the Rays? And the game ended on a strike three with the batter not being ready for, so to speak, the third pitch, and the game ending with a third strike called with the new uh, pitch clock. With the new pitch clock rule had come into effect.
I
Do
like
what you
I
like
like the
it?
new pitch clock. I do,
Yeah,
yeah, I do because Red Sox. I mean, not only Red Sox games, but I mean, you look at an average baseball game. I mean, you're looking at 2 to 3 hours. You
yep.
know, you're looking 2 to 3 hours easy. And with that pitch clock now, it's gonna, you know, chances are that it's gonna make the game go a lot faster. And that's what you need, especially sitting down watching it on TV.
So
That's what.
the average baseball game was 3 hours and 17 minutes last year. Uh, this year they have the games down as of the first 4 games of spring training. The average game right now is down to 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you cut what 45 minutes off it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
think of this. How many Red Sox Yankees games have we watched over the past 20 years that the game begins at 7 and it goes well past 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, I don't like I personally I don't like comparing Red Sox Yankees to say Red Sox Rays, Red Sox Indians or Guardians, whatever they are now. I don't like comparing that because it's like comparing the Celtics Lakers. You're gonna sit
Yeah.
there and you're gonna watch it regardless of the score, because you just never know. You never know what's gonna happen.
So to you, a Red Sox Yankees game at 4 hours never bothered you, but a Red Sox, say, Cincinnati Reds game at 4 hours more or less bothers you more?
That would bore the hell out of me. A
Yeah,
Red Sox
yeah.
Cincinnati game would bore the hell out of me, regardless who Cincinnati has. I
Yep.
mean, if you're a diehard Red Sox fan, you've always had a hatred for the Yankees,
Yep.
but at the same time, you always want to watch them play.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. So, so there's the double-edged sword, basically, is what you're speaking to when you say the Red Sox Yankees game. You're basically saying you just can't get enough.
No, you can't, and
Yep.
and nobody can.
Yep.
I mean, nobody can. If you've watched the Sox your whole life, you're always rooting against the Yankees. You're
Yep.
always watching the Sox, and then you're gonna watch SportsCenter, and you're gonna see what the Yankees score was. Uh,
Yep.
See if they beat or lost to whoever they were playing.
Yep. All right. So now I'm going to give you the rebuttal because I am a huge, 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 huge Red Sox fan. Boston sports in general. I'm always optimistic every year. I'm never a pink hat. And my wife can attest to this, that I probably watch in a good season, I will watch up to 80% of the games. And
Wow.
last year, I was into the Red Sox right up until the trade deadline. Because once I seen Sale break his hand or whatever injury he came up with, because he looked good when he came back, then he got the hand injury, and I was like, they're screwed. So from there, I will say that I was not into the Red Sox from there, but the year before that, I didn't give up on them. I believe even last year, if the Red Sox had a good June, it would have made for a better July. And I think you would have seen them hop into the trade market, and we quite possibly would have had a different last year. But last year is last year. This year is this year. I truly believe this year, just because there was a Jared Carabas article. I'm huge with listening to 98.5 the Sports Hub. I'm a huge reader of the Sports Hub. I go on, I read a lot of the stuff you'll hear me talk about and give info about is from 98.5. Jared Carabas, who's been down with the Red Sox in spring training, it said the vibe down there is incredible with the positivity that's being spread amongst the clubhouse because of one would not even be what you would think about the doubt from the New England sports media. It's from the positive influx of ex-Los Angeles Dodgers that are being hugely influential to the clubhouse, along with Adam Duvall, who's coming off of a year before removed with the Atlanta Braves a World Series. So there's a lot of optimistic veteran leadership that have played in the big markets, that have been to either the World Series last year, the year before that. Being said, there's a lot of positive leadership that's in that clubhouse. And
it's funny when you said that, because I used to I'm pretty big time into fantasy sports, and when Adam Duvall played for the Reds, I believe, 2 years ago, I think he started off with the Reds. When he played for the Reds, he was tough. He was tough, and I was happy to see that signing. I like Adam Duvall as a player.
Duvall had 30 home runs 2 years ago, and what we're hoping is that he's this year's resurrection of a Hunter. What was it, Hunter Renfroe that we had? Yeah. I look at it this way. I think the Red Sox right now are going to be a 500 team. The one thing that I can say, I can deal with one bridge year, with this year being the bridge, but the bridge has to be interesting enough that they keep me interested throughout the whole summer. Like, I don't want to be.
You can deal with a 500 team.
I can deal with the sub. I can deal with the sub, like a few games over 500. That's an entertaining team, even in a loss. I'd rather be entertained in a 4-2 loss than see them get blown out 11-1.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I want to be, when I watch a game, I want to be like, oh man, I think they can come through in the 9th, or if the 10th comes in with that runner on bull crap that they do, which I kind of like the rule. I just want to have a good Red Sox summer. And I feel like last year, if it was a normal old school Patriots year where Tom Brady was on the Patriots, you wouldn't give a crap that the Red Sox were so crappy, because you'd be like, oh, the Patriots are here. We're gonna have a good run, so it don't matter. But we'll get into the Patriots in a few minutes. With that being said, we didn't have that last summer. So the Red Sox being hugely influential to me was big. They were out of it. There was no August interest with the September with trying to say, what is it gonna conflict me on a Sunday afternoon when the game is important against the Blue Jays, while the Patriots, it's game week 1 or week 2 and they're playing the Dolphins or the Bills? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a year like that. So with that being said, yes, I could deal with the Red Sox being over 500, not 2 games, not 6 games, but an over 500 ball club that keeps me entertained. Yes, I can deal with that, waiting for what could happen next year. The one thing that I know a lot of Sox fans would probably want to see is them ultimately suck, so it gets rid of Chaim Bloom and they're on to the next. There's a lot. I've watched all the spring. Yeah, I've watched all the spring training games. They got a lot of good young talent. I know it's the first 4 to 5 days of spring training, but theoretically, right now they're undefeated. They have two ties or 3 ties with 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's some young talent right now that people are talking about. 2 days ago, they have the number 2 pitching prospect in the Red Sox organization that came out through 2 scoreless relief innings, reached 97 on the radar gun. Things look good. Witkowski looked good the other day. So yeah, I'm at this point. I know it's spring training. I'm hoping this year we get something decent. I just want to be entertained, like I said. You know what I mean?
And you know what? So 2 questions for you. With those 2 players you're talking about, say for instance they don't make the roster. All right, say they get sent to Portland. Okay,
Yep.
say they're playing in Portland. When do you feel that's appropriate? When would you feel it'd be appropriate to move them up?
I think right now there's nothing to lose on the Boston Red Sox.
No, I say put them on now.
I say if you shine in spring training, why not let the younger guys make the team, because there's not much you can lose.
No, there's not. There's nothing you can lose.
And getting your feet wet in the pros. I mean, think of it this way: if this truly is a team that's being run like the Tampa Rays, well, if the Tampa Rays had guys that are hot in spring training, along with the veterans that they sign, it's been known that the Rays have let these young guys shine. You know, like the guy that there was that they utilized in the World Series a couple of years ago, the Arcansinio, whatever his name is, there that came from nowhere. That's now one of the better players in one of the more notable players in pro baseball. He's a solid outfielder, but I believe he only batted .256 last year as the Cuban kid, but he came from nowhere. But I look at if the Red Sox are really playing like the Rays, they're kind of built like that right now.
Well, that's how Chaim Bloom made them. That's how Well, that's what Chaim Bloom wanted to do. That was his impression. Because he came from Tampa, right?
Yep.
So what he did, he wanted to turn them into the Tampa Rays.
Yep.
And he was hoping to have the same success, which, unfortunately, I mean, the Sox farm system's tough. But unfortunately, when on its way up, they haven't had that success yet.
Well, the farm system I'm going to disagree. I'm going to agree to disagree on the farm system right now. The farm system right now, rated by Pro Baseball America, is top 9 in Major League Baseball. The only thing that kills the Boston Red Sox is not having a pitching prospect in the top 100. But the Red Sox have 5 players in the MLB top 100 right now, which, to me, speaks volumes. And one of the guys that's top 20 is Marcel Mayer, a guy we may not see for 2 more years, or at least till 2024 at earliest.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we might have misunderstood what I said. I mean, I know the farm system stuff. I may have misquoted the farm system stuff, but coming up from the farm system onto the onto the big league team is where where we haven't seen what we need to see.
Yep. Well, we'll see if Brian Bello and Tristan Casas go along. Let's get on to the number 1 team in the NHL right now that is about to could set some season-ending records as far as points, most wins, things of that nature. I'm going to ask you this. Did you see this type of season during the summer, knowing what we knew about the free agents we had, the injuries to those potentially then signed free agents that we then therefore signed, meaning the Bergeron coming back, the Krejci coming back, Marchand coming back, McAvoy coming back. With all of that stuff that I have just said, if I was to tell you in July that the Bruins would be number one in the NHL and have 100 points right now, and you turned around and told me, well, the only guy that's healthy is David Pastrnak, okay, who's going into a contract year, knowing nothing that Allmark was this good, would you ask me what type of drugs I was on?
You know what? I probably would, but you know what? I'm going to be a little bit optimistic about that too, just because it's the Bruins, and I would think with all the injuries that they've had, with the free agency, with the people coming back, I would have put them second in the conference right now.
Yeah.
In their conference, not in the whole East, but I still would have put them second in the conference. I never anticipated them having the season that they're having right now.
Yep.
And with the trades that they just made,
yep.
I mean, it's going to be beneficial. I think when you look at the Bruins, I think you have to start looking from the top down. You have to look for management, and you have to look down all the way to scouting. And you know, I think they've done an incredible job. You know, and this year shows it. This year shows that they've done a great job. You know, they've rotated the players how they should. They're putting the right players on the correct lines that need to be. We'll see how these recent trades just you know, how they just turned out. So to answer your question, I mean, no, I would not have seen them as the best team in the NHL, but I would have seen them at least second in the conference. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, and it's just because that's what the Bruins do, you know? I mean, the Bruins, they've always, I don't want to say they've been a streaky team, but I mean, they're hot, but they've just stayed so consistent this year, you know? And granted, they've lost to some teams which they shouldn't have, but I mean, how many games is a hockey season? You're going to lose, you know?
Yep.
You're going to lose some games that you're supposed to win, and you're going to win some games that you're supposed to lose. And that's, you know, that's how it is. And they're firing. I mean, they've been firing on all cylinders all season long. And,
yep.
You know, it's great. It's great.
So with the Bruins coming out and making a couple of great key trades to bolster up their defense, and then to throw a great fourth line, I call him a pest. The guy there, Hathaway, I believe it is the other guy that was in on the trade, and Orlov, I believe, was the defenseman. It's real nice to see the Bruins already have the top 3 rating in all of the defenseman pairing in all of the NHL, and now have added a top guy on that defense to go alongside Charlie McAvoy, who they say this guy's the perfect playoff guy. He's tough, he's hard-nosed and gritty, and he was born to wear. Not only him, but the other guy even more was born to wear the Boston spoked B. He was born to be in the like they used to say, real men wear black, and the Boston black will always meant you were Boston bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the strength that they have that a lot of teams don't have right now is you can make that transition. You can trade somebody out from the second line and put them on the first line. You can trade somebody out from the third line and put them on the first line right now if you need to. You know, They have that much depth. It's almost like the Celtics. You know, it's almost like talking about the Boston Celtics and their depth. That's what the Bruins are looking for. They're looking to add depth. They're looking to add talent, number one. On the defensive side, which is great, and they need it. But they're also adding depth. You know, you're taking the guy from the first line, bringing him down to the second, adding him up to, you know. So if somebody gets hurt, he can easily transition right back up to that first line without missing any steps.
Okay, I don't know what. Can I see?
Come playoff hockey time, you need that. Because it's a whole different animal, as you know.
Playoff hockey, I tell people all the time, if you're not an NHL hockey fan, I never direct you to be a hockey fan during the regular season. I tell people, if you're going to become an NHL hockey fan, you need to turn on the best tournament in the whole wide world. The best tournament in the whole wide world is NHL playoff hockey. I tell people, this year I've watched more Bruins hockey this year than I have in recent years because of the way I was so I was enamored to see how they would start off not having everybody that they did not have. So, and it caught me from the beginning that they started off this great without, you know, without having Marchand, without having McAvoy. There's Pavel this new guy, Pavel Datsuk or whatever his name is, the Russian guy or whatever, or the Finland guy that goes alongside with Pasta and Krejci has been a godsend. He's been incredible. He's having a career year. He was somebody who came in from Jersey that he didn't pan out there, comes to Boston, having a great year, and the Reds and the Bruins tie him up for a 5-year extension, 20 games into the season, and it's good to see.
Yeah, I mean that it starts from the top and it works its way down. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch as much hockey as I wanted to because I've been doing commentary for high school basketball. So
yeah,
my past couple months at nighttime has been 100% occupied, pretty much. So,
yeah,
which sucks. But at the same time, if you're a sports fan, it's deep down inside, it's every sports fan to want to be a commentator, either play or want to be a commentator. So
yes, sir.
I'm at the high school level, but it's still all good. I'm still happy with it.
That's right. That's right. I'm a high school basketball coach, so I know all about it. And, and my passion is I have a much better time, in all honesty, doing the public address announcing at our home high school basketball games, where I've been told by many people who have viewed me on the NHFS tapings that I quite possibly am the best PA announcer in the state of Maine. I'm an entertainer. I sing happy birthdays. I dance around the court. So I enjoy that very much. I enjoy that very much. I enjoy this very much.
We ought to get a statewide poll going. See who the best, see the best commentary, see who the best color guy is.
Well, yeah, I do know that we have Tony Maker that does the home games, and you are the Callis play-by-play guy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony's great. Tony does a great job.
I will say this. I was impressed the past couple of years on the production that Callis puts out as far as their high school basketball presentation, with the commentary and things of that nature. Not many other schools go to that stratosphere to entertain you to that. So I will say that Callis High School, boys basketball, girls basketball, they put on a great production as far as getting to watch it online.
Yeah, well, thank you. Me and another gentleman, Ben Maloney is his name. He does the play-by-play, and then then I step in every once in a while. But I'm more the entertainment part of it, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's smart. He knows his stuff. I enjoy watching it. I know my stuff too. And we click well together. We click really well together, and it's fun. And hopefully we can do it for years to come.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said about the Bruins, the next thing I'm going to say is, to you, knowing how Marchand, Bergeron, Krejci, you got 3 Bruins legends, so to speak, that are definitely Krejci and definitely Bergeron are at the ends of their careers. Yeah. Like, they're on 1-year deals. They're going to decide from now on whether or not they want to come back.
Yeah, they are.
So with that being said, with all this that's going on with the Boston Bruins, are they in the topic of, if it's with all this record-setting stuff, if they don't win a Stanley Cup, is it considered a bust?
This year? Yeah.
Yes.
This year it is. This year it is, the way that they've been playing and the players who they have, who we don't know. They're, like you just said, they're going year to year. I want to say, every year counts. Every year you play hard. But as a fan watching them, you don't know if these guys are going to be back next year. And me, myself, I'm not as familiar with with their farm team down in Providence. So I can't.
What's the
I
next
don't
question?
truthfully. I don't know what they have coming up.
Yep. They don't got much.
I can guarantee you it's not. I can guarantee you it's not as good as what they have right now. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, then that's just from a
Okay. So
fan
after this one,
standpoint.
we buy
I
them
mean,
at
like
a
I said, I
shop.
haven't really had the opportunity to watch too
Buy
much
them
games this year, only
soon.
because I've been busy doing
We
basketball
buy them
competitions.
at a shop.
But if I were to
Soon
say,
we will eat them, but
I
we
would say
buy
right now
them.
is Stanley Cup or bust for them. I'd be disappointed not to see them win this year.
All right. So we're going to move on to the Boston Red Sox, on to the Boston Celtics. Here's another one. So the Celtics, as we know, ended the offseason with, I'm going to call it just growing pains in the NBA championship by losing. Not only that, an offseason of scrutiny with their head coach coming into this year, not knowing what Joe Mazzulla could truly bring to a team that was just basically one game away from winning an 18th NBA world title with two of the rising young superstars in the NBA. Here's another Boston sports team that up until last night had the best record in the NBA, was the number one seed. But as of late, since the All Star break, Jason Tatum, as we know, scored 51 points, was the All Star MVP, and has fallen off the face of the earth scoring wise since his dramatic performance.
He got
Oh,
ejected too, didn't he?
yep, yes, and he got ejected the other night.
Yep,
Uh,
first ejection ever, I believe.
and right now, he is number one in the NBA as far as average minutes per game go. Knowing how far they went last year, this year not taking a break from the All Star game, this year in the All Star game, scoring 51 points, playing 38 minutes, along with averaging the most minutes in the NBA. Do you think this is just a quick little slump that Tatum's going through, or do you believe that right now that the minutes that Jason Tatum has put in over the past 2 years, right now, quite possibly could start to catch up with him? And if this is so, can the Boston Celtics be able to rebound from something like this in order to capture what they had as far as momentum and the goal of finishing as another? This is another. If they don't win an NBA championship this year, it, it's all for nothing. I know it's a 3-part question, but do you think, number one, do you believe in your honest opinion that Jason Tatum has too many minutes logged under him at this point?
So, first of all, I got to first of all give a shout out because the people that can see me, they see that I have an Indiana Pacers. I have an Indiana Pacers shirt on. Number one, I'm not a Pacers fan, but I have a good friend of mine, Chris Taylor. He's a GM from Calais, Maine. He's a general manager for the G League team, the Mad Ants, for the Pacers.
Oh,
So he goes
wow.
down to Washington County, to Calais, Maine a lot, and he helps out the community a lot. And he gave me this shirt. So,
Oh, cool.
mm, that's just had to throw that one out there. Give him a little shout out. But number one, I don't think we have to worry about Jason Tatum. It doesn't matter who you are. Every good player, every great player goes through a slump. All right. Uh, I think Missoula and I think Brad Stevens, they know, and he's either going to work his way out of the slump, and they don't. I mean, and nobody can tell me that they don't have him. They know the time he's putting in. They know the minutes that he's playing, and if they feel that it's too much, then then they might cut him back. I mean, they don't want to have any kind of injury leading up to playoff season. They're still being careful with Robert Williams. They're being careful with Al Horford right now, minute wise. Luckily, the Celtics, like the Bruins, luckily they have the depth, to be able to do that. And with Tatum, I think they're really trying to have him just chew his way out of his slump right now.
Yeah.
Tatum wants to be in there. You can see it in his eyes. Tatum wants to be in there. Tatum, I mean, I'm not comparing Jason Tatum to Kobe Bryant, but as everyone knows, they were friends before the unfortunate passing of Kobe. They were good friends. They trained together, and Jason, I think he wants to he wants to he wants to mimic his game somewhat like Kobe's, and he wants to be out there as much as he can.
What
And
does
I
it
think
say?
he's his way out. And I think if he's feeling that he's tired,
We
he's going
cook
to
them.
tell you he wants to
No,
invest.
they eat it.
Yep.
They have plenty of firepower right now. They have plenty of firepower. They have plenty of depth to win plenty of games and still be either first, second going into the playoffs.
You stay at the food.
All right. So I got a quick NBA question. This is Charles Barkley, who the other night
Chucky.
came out and said, and he scrutinized the load management as far as NBA players go today. And he's not the only one. Barkley came out and said these guys are making in excess of $70 million. Guys are being paid $30 million a year to play the game, and not to play 82 games when a guy at the steel factory is working a labor job 5 days a week, 40 plus hours. As much as that guy doesn't want to go to work the next day, that guy goes to work. And basically saying that the NBA player is lazy, and the load management thing, and another thing that Barkley reiterated on was that these guys, they fly and they have they don't, it's not like they fly first class on a jet. The team has their own jet. You know what I mean? They got the best chefs. They got the best, strength and conditioning coaches. They got the best masseuses and things of that nature. For these guys not to be playing every game is an insult to the guys that came before them. Then it was, I believe it was Dwayne Wade that came out and said that he would be pissed that if he went to a game with his kids, knowing what they charge and what the arenas charge, that say that there was their one game that they could go to that year, when they go to, the star players are not playing at that game. It's not like you know what I mean? You get your money back. The reason why the tickets are so much and things of that nature is because of those players who are playing. And I believe to a certain extent the load management and stuff like that. I think that I think if you're healthy, you should be playing, man. That's what the off season's about.
Yeah, no, I agree with Barkley, and I agree with Dwayne Wade. There's another NBA player after Barkley made that statement. I don't remember who it was.
So it must be written on there somewhere.
Anthony Edwards, maybe from the
Yes, Anthony Edwards. That's who it was.
Yeah, he was talking about that. He's like, the fans came to see me play, and I'm gonna play.
Exactly.
And you know what? It's true. If I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna take my family of four to, if I'm gonna take my family of four to Boston to watch the Celtics play, and I'm dropping, I'm dropping $1,200, $1,300 on those seats, and then all of a sudden Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't playing. You know what? I'm gonna be pissed. And my kids are going to be pissed because, in all reality, what kid, unless you're a hardcore sports fan, but what 10, 11-year-old knows, say, for instance, Lonnie Walker the fifth from the Lakers,
Yeah.
You don't want to go see him play. You don't want to see Troy Brown start for the Lakers or Mo Bamba tonight starting for the
No.
Lakers. You want to see LeBron James starting for the Lakers. You want to see Anthony Davis starting for the Lakers.
Absolutely.
Tatum, starting for the Celtics. You want to see Jalen starting for the Celtics. You're not paying all this money to see these players. I mean, they're talented players. They're super athletes.
Yep.
I mean, they're absolutely super athletes, and and then you look at them sometimes too, and you look at their talent and whatnot. You got someone 7'8". What they are, regardless of how much personal strength and conditioning they do, they're still going to have trouble. They're going to have more problems with their muscles than some 5'7" short dude like I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's like their bodies are built for it. Their bodies are built for it. You're getting paid. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to go out there and play a game that you love. And that's what a lot of people forget. You know, I mean, I
Yep.
can't go to work at my radio station tomorrow and say, "Oh, hey, I need to take Friday off because I need some load management because I've done too much this week." You know, I mean, what other job can you go to that you can actually say that? You know, you
Yep.
get paid millions of dollars.
True. All right.
You just can't. It's disappointing.
So we're going to move on to the Patriots aspect. At this
Free
point in
agent
time, do you believe Mac Jones is the man for the job?
I'm gonna give Mac one more year. I'm gonna give Mac 1 year on this condition, on the condition that somebody else works with Bill Belichick to get Mac what he needs. Number one, he needs some help on the O line. Number two, he needs a wide receiver, a legitimate wide receiver, not a veteran, not a. I don't like this whole Hopkins stuff that
Yeah.
the rumors have been about because Hopkins, he's getting old. Him and Bill O'Brien, they didn't get along in Houston. There's some bad blood. Something funky went down there. I don't know what it was.
Direct words from Hopkins was, how was the relationship between, he was asked, how was the relationship between you and Bill O'Brien? He looked at the report, he goes, what relationship?
Yeah, exactly. So that to me, that's out of the question. I don't want that. I don't want to see Hopkins go in there. And I don't want to see him get traded to the Patriots. I don't want to see him go, or if he's a free agent, I don't remember what he is. I don't want
No,
to see
he would be on the trading block, but I don't think you're gonna see a guy like DeAndre Hopkins here. I believe the Patriots are gonna go after a second tier guy that's on his way up, that with the Patriots he can become a number one.
I like a T. Higgins. They've been talking about him. I like him because he's
Yeah.
playing. He's playing underneath what's his face in Cincinnati right now, Chase.
Yep. So I'll give you a good one. Today on Twitter, and then it was released an hour later. The sound footage of the Cincinnati Bengals GM coming out and answering questions about T. Higgins, and he basically said, without saying, fuck off. You can all dream about T. Higgins. He basically said, in a nutshell, go out and get your own T. Higgins. There is no way Cincinnati has interest at all in giving up T. Higgins.
No, and I truthfully, I wouldn't want to either.
The interesting name that I found today was the Goodwin guy from Tampa Bay, who's coming off an ACL injury, not last year, but the year before that. So it was his first year back playing on the ACL tier. And then it's the guy that was the receiver in New Orleans. I'd like to say his last name is Thomas. It was, yes. And I was told that Michael Thomas could become a resurrection project with the New England Patriots. I like the Jerry Jeudy thing a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the Jerry Jeudy thing from
that's not going to happen.
From Denver. Yeah, I don't see why Denver would want to give up on him either. You know what I mean? Why would you want to take anything away from Russell Wilson? And with that being said, Sean Payton's an offensive guy to a certain extent. Why would he want to give a weapon away?
Especially with the shitty year that Wilson had last year. He needs to
Russell Wilson, we're all starting to find out and people are talking about. Russell Wilson is actually just king of the douchebags. It's been talked about that Russell Wilson, that if you want to talk to him, you have to call his manager. He doesn't give out his phone number to teammates. There's a lot of really bad stigma that came out about Russell Wilson.
I'm not, and I've never been a Russell Wilson guy.
Okay.
I think I liked him
I like him, but I'm not,
To a point in Seattle, I like him only because he had, but look at the people who he had around him, I mean, for most of his career, he had Marshawn Lynch as his running back. Then you had a DK Metcalf, who the Patriots could have got, which sucked.
Yeah.
Then you had what is it, Lockett.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, you had Lockett, who's still there, and the coaching. I mean, a lot of people have mixed feelings about Pete Carroll since he left the Patriots, but I think Pete Carroll did a great job in Seattle.
Pete Carroll's been nothing but a winner since he's been in the NFL. He was a winner with the New York with the New York Jets. He then became a winner with the New England Patriots. Went on to have success at the University of Southern California, the Trojans, and has gone on to be a successful coach in the NFL. So I for one am a huge Pete Carroll fan. I remember when Pete Carroll came in, the first thing he did was put up basketball hoops at the Patriots facility because he said it started one-on-one aggression and competition between the guys in a different way, shape, and form. And I was I loved that idea. I'm just going to get to my Mac Jones thing real quick. I think Mac Jones was I was one of the ones at the beginning of the year that said, Matt Patricia was a head coach in the NFL. He should know things. He started off on the offensive side of the ball, then went over to the defensive side of the ball later on. Joe Judge was assistant receivers coach with the New England Patriots. He's another guy that became later on a head coach in the NFL. I would have thought that these guys knew something about offense. I was dead wrong. It did nothing but put Mac Jones behind the 8 ball so bad that this year we should be talking about Mac Jones. We need to extend him now and whatnot, because his rookie year he really was looking like a solid. Like, I'm not going to say he was looking like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But I was a season ticket holder for the New England Patriots for 6 seasons. I watched Tom Brady for every game avidly. When Brady first started, Brady did the same things 2 years ago that Mac Jones did. If it wasn't there, he hit the check down. The Patriots were a dink and dunk team until they got Randy Moss. That's when they started to go deep. So the people out there that wanted to swim in the denial river and not say that Mac Jones, the way he ran the Patriots offense 2 years ago, was not remnants of the way that the Patriots offense looked years back. They're absolutely wrong. I'm not saying he was Tom Brady. I'm saying the offense looked the way that quarterbacks such as Brady ran it. Matt Castle wasn't Tom Brady, but Matt Castle ran that offense when Tom Brady went down with that torn ACL. Matt Castle stepped in, got 10 victories. 10 victories in a normal year in the NFL gets you to the playoffs. That year, everybody was good in the AFC, and we were home at 10-6.
It's the way that the offense was run. I mean, you have Wes Welker, doing those, what you said, doing those check down passes. Then you progress on to Julian Edelman doing the same thing. Neither one of them are deep threats. That's how the Patriots won their game. That's why one disappointment that I personally had, I don't know if you realized it correctly or not, it was Hunter Henry. I was so jacked up when they signed Hunter Henry. I thought that was probably the best acquisition. But it's just, I mean, he played all right, but I don't know. I just
Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. If Tom Brady was the quarterback, we'd be talking about them differently.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh god, yeah.
So,
I predict big things. I hope that Mac was just in the
I'm
sophomore
gonna stop
slump.
in the morning to drop off this list, but I am.
I don't think it had anything to do with the slump. I think it's that he had two morons that knew absolutely Stugatz about what the hell was going on. That's my honest opinion. Because every good analyst came out and said they were running an offense that wouldn't even be utilized in high school nowadays. So I truly believe, I'm going to go along with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
a very simple offense that they were trying to run. Yep.
So we're going to move on to some pro wrestling. In your opinion, how would you rate the Elimination Chamber?
I loved it. I loved the
Okay.
Elimination Chamber. I watched every second of it, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
The only one that I didn't like the Lesnar. I didn't like the Lesnar Lashley.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just hold off
I
and
think WWE
we'll look at
creative
it
can be
together when I
lost
get
more.
one or
Into
whatever
WrestleMania.
time.
Instead of,
Let's not get into WrestleMania yet. Let's just stick with the chamber.
if you just want to talk about the chamber, a lot of things pointed out to me where a lot of people are going to get big pushes. Montreal Ford, he's going to get big. You can tell that's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. He had a great elimination.
No, I'm gonna put her down to do Wet and Wild when Joe comes in.
I'm trying to think back now. He kind of caught me by surprise talking about the elimination chamber.
That's why we call this on the fly, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great elimination chamber. One shitty thing is we all knew that Sami Zayn was going to lose.
Yep.
To Roman Reigns. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. Everyone knows that Reigns. Chances are he's going to lose at WrestleMania.
Look at the list. Is there anything on the front Joe can do? I know he's gonna freak out about Juno, but
yeah, go right ahead. I gotta let my dog out.
So my thing here is I believe the Elimination Chamber match was the best men's Elimination Chamber match I've seen in recent history.
Okay, we'll put that.
And the woman's
Joe's name, and you can list it for me after.
It was so scripted that they were going. I could tell because of the professional eye that it seemed like they slowed it down to the fact that they were trying to remember everything that they had called, for the match.
No, we still have
the Lesnar Lashley match. I will disagree. I thought it was great. I love the way it ended with the ball shot because I'm not gonna lie. I thought the ball shot was gonna create a match that was going to have Lashley and Lesnar fight in the pit style fight that you see like Ciampa and some other guys fight in and Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were gonna see. I thought we were gonna see a legit pit style fight at WrestleMania with Lesnar, with Lashley because of the ball fight, the ball shot. I thought that's where it was. I thought that's where that was leading. To me, until Monday evening came and I seen the whole Omos bull crap. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, why would you even waste that ending? I would have, I would have rather seen Lesnar snap. Just knowing he probably couldn't have beaten Lashley, not the ball shot, but I would have rather them gone on the outside, got counted out, gone through tables, through the barricades, thrown thrown crap around, ripped up the mats on the outside, slammed each other on it, and then just an uncontrollable Donnybrook is what I would have rather have seen, other than because you really did. You wasted what really could have been a much better WrestleMania matchup, putting these two guys in a pit style match. And the reason why I bring this up is you make it that night. They would have had to really throw fisticuffs. It would have brought you back to the boiler room match between The Undertaker and Mankind, both of them knowing that they had to put extra emphasis in the contact during that match because they had no way around it.
Right, but I'll tell you the truth. When it comes to Lesnar Lashley, I was disappointed
I'm
before.
thinking about taking the
If you remember the SmackDown
because
before,
that's all he
Friday,
said on the other.
Yeah.
Wyatt came on and he did his reel that he was going to face the winner, and then
So I'm
that
thinking
got me
about making
thinking,
that thing disappear.
So this Lesnar Lashley match is going to go 1 of 2 ways. It's going to be a wash. It's something.
Oh my God! I just got your snap
Like the
message.
DQ, like the ball shot. Or
We'll get it done. No fear, Amy's.
And they're going to end it once and for all. They're going to have a great match.
So
I didn't like the idea of Wyatt coming out before that because it kind of.
All right. Well, I just wanted to check in and see about pocket planning. Hopefully,
okay, so I'll give you a quick insight. Creative was wanting Wyatt Lesnar. Lesnar was not feeling Lesnar Wyatt. Okay. Lesnar and sources other than we'll get into this, and other sources tell me that Lesnar was wanting Gunther.
I like that.
Which would have been a real good matchup.
I like
now. It has not been confirmed, but there's many sources out there that are saying it was highly a pushed on match for Almost and Lesnar by one Vince McMahon. People are saying that Vince McMahon was getting on Creative and saying if he could have and saying that's the one match he wants to see for WrestleMania. And Vince McMahon is the fans everywhere. If you go to some of the fan sites and things of that nature that talk wrestling, they're blaming Vince McMahon right now for the making of the Almost versus Brock match. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was highly entertained with the VIP lounge the other night with Brock Lesnar and Almost.
Yeah, that was good. But you know what? They can do a lot more. I love the idea of a Lesnar Gunther match, but what's looking like right now is looking like Gunther McIntyre right now. Which you know what? It's going to be that's going to be a good match too. That's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be just like the Gunther Sheamus match. That's going to be a good match. I think Gunther's going to win because I think he's going to get a big push. I think they're really looking for him to get a big push, which he deserves it. I like him.
I'm calling it right now. It's Gunther versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And Gunther becomes the world champion.
Yep, I like that. And I want to have happen before SummerSlam. I want those titles to be split up. I want a Raw title and I want a SmackDown title.
You're never going to see that again.
No, either that or just combine one title. There have been rumors that the networks are mad because they don't have a champion.
Those were rumors 2 years ago. Those rumors are dead and buried. It's one of the USA Network is fine and happy right now with the fact of the United States Championship because it's the United States Championship that it is being looked at as and if you hear how they talk about it, they call it the official title of Monday Night Raw is the United States Championship, which is defended on the USA Network. Yeah. So another thing USA has liked, the fact of Roman Reigns making an appearance here and there on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So USA has been very much happy with what goes on. I think a lot of it is hearsay, and I like the one title for the simple fact of the matter is when I was a kid in the WWE, you had 3 titles. You had the World Championship, you had the Intercontinental Championship, you had the Tag Team titles.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, this is a whole different time and ballpark for a subject, but we can talk about this someday. I've always been an advocate. I believe that right now, if you were to tell me tomorrow, what would you do to improve the WWE? The one thing that they have right now going for them is keeping one world champion with one belt, keep the US belt, keep the IC belt. And you need to, in order to legitimately make the tag team titles worth something, kill the SmackDown and Raw tag team titles, because as it is, you don't headline tag team wrestling as it is on either brand. So having a championship for each brand is stupid. So I believe if you just have the one tag team set of tag team championships, you could actually have a much more reputable tag team division. And I believe with that being said, you could write a better program if you're writing continuous into 2 programs. I think also too is it sucks to say, but you only use so many people right now. So with the money you pay them, and I believe that wrestlers perform better wrestling more than wrestling less. So I think that the fact that utilizing certain wrestlers on both nights and then just using certain wrestlers on Mondays and Fridays is what they should do. Like I've always been, there should be a crop of 12 guys and it don't matter what night they're on. I think the brand recognition is the dumbest thing in the world. I've always thought the draft is so stupid. I believe that if I was sitting up in a tower and I was talking to Fox and or USA, I would say, listen, right now, I'm not worried about who's on your channel, who's on your channel. I want them all on both channels because I want 2 million viewers Monday and I want 2 million viewers on Friday because I want to continue strong storylines between everything so it continues in. I believe that, and that wasn't even a subject for me to talk about, but if that was one way that I could fix WWE is get rid of a lot of the title thing and, shorten up the rosters, I'd even do this. I would put the first hour of Raw and I wouldn't even utilize it live anymore. I'd put it on the WWE network. And I'd put 2 hours of live television from 9 to 11 on the USA network. And the first hour could be a glorified product for the up-and-comers for that first hour to tune, Or take the last hour of Raw off of network television, put it on Peacock. And see if you could turn the volume up a little extra. Like the one thing we'll get into in the next time we talk is Attitude Era. And I'm going to describe the Attitude Era and with a lot of the argument of this generation's wrestling fan with the AEW things and things of that nature and how if you was born in 1992, you don't know nothing about the Attitude Era because the Attitude Era only went till 2000. That means you were 8 years old. You and like watching a VHS tape to catch up to know what the Attitude Era is not the same thing as living through it.
No, I have a 10-year-old son that's just getting into wrestling, right? Him and I, a couple days ago, we've been watching on Peacock. We've been watching the Survivor Series, old Survivor Series.
Yep.
We watched like in the first, and we keep watching, continue to watch. But let me throw something out here for you. All right. two things I want to mention. I want to mention today that I thought that would improve, that I hope that WWE would do leading up to WrestleMania. Number one, I think that the Bray Wyatt Bobby Lashley thing is not going to work. I think that's just stupid because they're two different people. I don't think Bobby Lashley can feed into Bray Wyatt's whole master plan. But you know who would? You know who would feed into that great? It would be a great fight and a great back and forth, entertainment wise and fighting wise. Give Karrion Cross.
Okay.
Give Karrion Cross a push with Bray Wyatt. You know, I mean,
Yep.
just think about Cross's style and think about Bray Wyatt's style. Collaborate those two together as a feud. That would make a hell of a WrestleMania match right there.
Yep.
That
I
would,
agree.
yeah, that would be my number one. That I would love to see that.
So I'm
Number
going to
two,
say this right here. And you hold on to your number two because I'm going to give you a 1B real quick because you said what you just said there. So today I looked to a different couple places where I go for sources on pro wrestling. So does the Faces of Bray versus the new Hurt Business interest you?
no, not at all, because the Faces of Bray, I thought were going to be something completely different. We
Yeah.
don't know who Uncle Howdy is. I mean, we might know who he is. Maybe he's Bo Dallas. Maybe he's not. Whatever. They're prolonging that whole deal way too much. When Bray Wyatt first came back, and they had the fans, they had the people in the stands, one dressed up as a fiend. Then you had an Uncle Howdy. Then you had, the characters in the Firefly Funhouse. I thought that when he came back, it was going to end up being like, being like how Bray was with Braun Strowman and with his little clique that he had before. But it hasn't turned into that. It's just turned into this weird Uncle Howdy thing, and no one knows who Uncle Howdy is or what kind of role he's playing. So unless unless leading up to WrestleMania, unless they describe that a little bit more and introduce maybe somebody else into Bray Wyatt's clique, then maybe, yeah, that might work. And maybe if he gets together with the Hurt Business, because Lashley's not with the Hurt Business right now.
Oh, they're
I
predicting
mean,
right
someone you're
now
talking
that
about?
Lashley is going back. The Hurt Business is going to add Carmelo Hayes.
Okay. Well, but I mean, how much interest is that? Because it's two different styles, it's two different groups with two different personalities.
Yep.
I mean, what are you going to see every week leading to WrestleMania? You're going to see Bray Wyatt bring his new people with Uncle Howdy and the Hurt Business looking and them being freaked out
Yeah.
because they don't know what to do, and that's
Yeah.
that's what it's going to be. I myself would like to see somebody with Bray Wyatt, like a Karrion Cross, with this whole TikTok thing,
Yeah.
somebody more of the gothic nature, I guess, or the creepy nature, I guess, going up
Yeah.
against Bray, because their relationship and their feud, entertainment wise, would be a hell of a better show than going up against like a classy business, supposedly like the Herb Business.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't like the idea. If you ask my opinion, I don't like the whole Lashley Wyatt idea at all. I think that they could have done a lot more with that. I would have liked to have seen what you were talking about, the Lashley Lesnar like octagon match, pit match.
Yeah.
That would have been great, and then put Wyatt in with Karrion Cross, because they're both kind of mysterious. So I think leading up to it, the feud and the storyline would have been awesome for that. I think it
Yeah.
would have been unbelievable.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I thought about that a lot.
I like that.
Another quick one I wanted to get off to you, and I don't know how you feel about this. So evidently Austin Theory, he's getting a big push, and that's a general consensus with everyone, right?
Yep.
And the general consensus for WrestleMania is the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That's a general consensus. So what I kind of like to see, and what kind of relates back to you having one championship on one station that you were talking about earlier, how would you feel about the Usos and Zayn and Owens facing in WrestleMania, right? But the Usos still regaining their championship, keeping their championship, But something happens along the lines because Sami Zayn's so popular right now that Sami Zayn, the next pay-per-view, faces Austin Theory, and Sami Zayn becomes the new United States champion. So then you'll have Cody Rhodes on Raw as a champion. Then you have Sami Zayn as a U.S. champion over on SmackDown, just trading championships. With the popularity of Zayn right now, I think that would work out awesome.
I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I think
I
that
can
would
see that happening.
because I think it would be a major upset because I think that people expect Zayn and Owens to beat the Usos. So I'd like to see something where along the lines of I don't know what happens, but Austin Theory sticking his nose in for some reason, Sami Zayn getting mad, and then the next pay-per-view, those two going at it, then them switching titles. The WWE, the Universal Championship goes to Raw with Cody Rhodes, and the United States Championship goes over to SmackDown with Sami Zayn. Especially with the popularity of Zayn right now, man, I'll tell you, that would work.
Unfortunately, the U.S. title will stay on Monday Night Raw. And Cody Rhodes is already slated that he'll work both. Cody Rhodes, for the time being, will work both programs.
Yeah, good. That's good.
You'll
you'll
see Cody on Monday Night Raw, and you'll see him on SmackDown. On Monday Night Raw, you might see him cutting more of promos and being in like tag matches or things of that nature, while on SmackDown, you might see more of the one-on-one confrontations.
Yeah, good. I'd like to see that.
But I believe Cody will work both brands. The Intercontinental Championship will be on SmackDown for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
and like I said, the United States Championship is, without a doubt, the USA Network Championship right now. That is their championship, and I think a guy like Sami Zayn could carry Monday Night Raw. So with the steam he has right now, Sami Zayn could carry Raw with the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
And with that being said, if Austin Theory gets the rub by John Cena at WrestleMania, that makes Sami Zayn even that much better, knowing that he just beat the man who got the rub by probably the greatest sports entertainer in the past 20 years.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, that would be epic. I'd love to see that.
Because that's what you see at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're seeing Theory Cena, for sure. That's for definite. Yeah. Everyone knows that. So, yeah.
Well, I think that this has been a successful first episode, and I hope people listen and share this, and within the next, technological advancement of the brain, we'll get this distributed to the right places.
It's been a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to do it again.
I had a good time. Well, be on the lookout. We'll do this again in a couple of weeks. And I want to thank everybody who listened live. And I want to pre-thank everybody who's going to listen in the future. And we'll see you the next time here on the Fly with Jason Rumble. I'm Jason Rumble. And my
absolutely. All right, my man.
Partner in crime is the Germ, Geramy Pottle. And we'll catch you the next time on the Fly. Peace out, everyone.
See you later.
Have a good night.